Hello my Funatics, it's Fufu here, and welcome to week 2 of season 6 of the GBA. This is going to be my team builder video, and this week we're going up against Fizzy, Stardust, and the Atlanta Hawluchas. This guy is awesome. I've watched his content for the longest time. One of the people who I was watching way before I ever started uploading. So yeah, please go and check out his channel in the links below. Very funny. And you can check out his last week's upload of his battle against Nick, aka Super Blah. Anyways, we are coming off a slightly disappointing loss. It got down to a really close endgame against John. And yeah, it was really good. But I feel like his prep was just a little bit superior to mine. So this week, it's really important that I get it right and I go in feeling confident that I've done my utmost to have the team prepped properly. So what am I bringing this week? Well, I'll show you what Fizzy's team consists of, and then I will talk to you as to why I'm bringing what I'm bringing. First thing is first, I looked at his team and saw that Fool of a Crook is going to have a field day with his stabs. Knockoff and Earthquake both hit a lot of things. Knockoff, it's only resisted by a lot of his frailer fast attackers, and they take about 50% from a life orb adamant knockoff anyway, so it's not they're not really a great switch in. The only thing that could be a very good switch in would be a defensive Mega Scissor, or just a bulky Mega Scissor in general, because it won't take as much from knockoff. But that's why I have Fire Fang. A combination of knockoff and Fire Fang will be able to take that out. Earthquake is there just for an immediate answer to Volcanion, because Volcanion, it's got really interesting typing, and Fizz has done well to kind of pair that up with things on his team where getting super effective hits on Volcanion means you might be sacrificing really important coverage for things that are quad weak stuff. Like he's got Rhyperior and Mega Scizor and Salamence that all have quad weaknesses, but they're all different, and you also want coverage to hit everything. So anyway, yeah, Earthquake's a good way of covering for Volcanion. And then Stealth Rock will be important this week. Salamence is a very scary threat if it's going to be a setup one. So being able to get the Stealth Rock damage on switching is important. Again, with Volcanion as well, being able to get some damage on that will be really, really useful. He's only got 2 defoggers, and they're Mega Scizor and Salamence. So both of them could be offensive or defog. So I'll have to play around. I think that both of them will probably be coming, so I'll have to see. But I'm thinking it's probably going to be a bulky Scizor, because that thing would potentially handle the Crook a little bit better. Maybe just a bit more reliable defog against my team specifically, because I've got a lot of dragons. So if he's going like a slower, bulkier Salamence for defog, probably isn't as reliable when I've got dragons. So that's why I'm bringing Fool of a Crook, and I really do think it's going to be good. What I've speed cracked is Volcanion, I think. No, it was an Adamant Mega Scizor. I might change that though to Jolly Mega Scizor, just in case he does bring Jolly Mega Scizor. I really, really don't think it's going to be coming, so I might change that up. But we will see. Breaking Bat, the Crobat, is my next Pokemon that I'm bringing. So I looked, very much this time I looked at what offensive things can I bring, because last time I against John and his Mega Lopunny, I was definitely thinking what things can I bring to take hits from that, just because I'm always so spooked by Mega Lopunny. It's one of the, if not the scariest thing in Draft League format. Yeah, I didn't like that. And so this week I tried to change my mentality. How am I going to win this? Not how am I not going to lose this? So we're bringing offense, lots of offense, and we've got a choice banded, Breaking Bat the Crobat. Brave Bird is really good against his team. Again, he only has he doesn't have many resistances, only Rhyperior and Electivire. Rhyperior obviously is a very good resistance. Electivire will not be taking banded Brave Birds well at all. I think it's probably a 2-hit KO depending on the set. But yeah, Rhyperior I will need to deal with. After it's dealt with, this thing puts in the work. Brave Bird does so much to so many things, and Infiltrator is really important too, because there are things like Whimsicott, Hawlucha, and Gengar that all could potentially set up subs. So this thing outspeeds and OHKOs them all with banded Brave Bird, so that's really good. U-turn just for momentum, which could be important in this match. And then the other two things, Giga Drain is there so that I can actually take out Rhyperior if the chance comes up. And then Super Fang is more for getting damage on things like Porygon. If I can get a Super Fang on that on the switch, maybe I'll force it to go for a recover so I can get a free switch into something else. or just getting damage on it basically. But Brave Bird as well. That's against like a defensive Porygon 2 with its a Violite, but I'm planning on getting rid of the Violites and stuff. So yeah, and I have to run it Jolly because an Adamant Crobat just is outsped by Hawlucha, unfortunately. But that gives me a bit more bulk, so I can take a bit more Brave Bird recoil, so that's alright. Moving on. This is so I knew that those two would be really good, and then I wanted some things to take hits. I need to bring Klefki because I need to have something to stop Dragon Spam. So yeah, the Salamence is quite scary, and this thing will just mean it can't go for Banded Outrages all day. So that's why he's there. It's nice to have a Steel type. Again, something maybe just to take Flying type hits from Hawlucha, and yeah, and also the Zoroark, which could be a bit of a problem. Not too concerned, but it could be a little bit of a problem. So this thing can take that on as well. I'm able to fire off Thunder Waves. Dazzling Gleam is actually pretty decent against a lot of his offensive mons. And Spikes will be really useful. If I can get up Rocks and Spikes, then things like Volcanion really aren't too much of a big deal. Sizzle will get worn down very quickly if that's his Defogger and he's coming in on Rocks and Spikes, so that's quite good. Foul Play was there as my last move just to break certain things subs. For example, Gengar, I wouldn't be able to break it with a Dazzling Gleam, I don't think. And also just to be able to do a bit more damage to stuff like Sizzle, even though I don't think I will be doing sub damage, but I doubt he'll bring a sub Sizzle because that will be really weird set to bring against me, especially with a Brave Bird Bat with Infiltrator. So yes, that's that. I don't. Again, this one is another thing where I might swap out Foul Play for something a bit more useful, like an HP Fire specifically for Scizor, or maybe something, maybe another status move so that I could get Volcanion, because Volcanion is actually a really good switch in on this. So I need to think about that. So that is my keys, and then the other thing I wanted to bring as a wall is Soggy Doggy for sure. That's because this thing can take on Salamence relatively well. I needed something to immediately kill or do damage to Salamence, so I've got Ice Beam. I do have Dazzling Gleam as well, to be fair. It also is able to kill Rhyperior, which could be really, really important. And just take hits from other stuff. Oh yeah, and Scizor as well if it does come offensive. I'm really not expecting offensive Mega Scizor though. Really, really not expecting it. But it could still come, so I need to be able to cover that with Scald here. Roar is there as well, just to get rid of stuff, and that will help shuffle. I needed something for Volcanion, and I thought the best thing really is just to get my hazards up and then roar it out on its switching, because it's got Water Absorb. If you don't know Volcanion, Water and Fire type is a crazy typing. It has Water Absorb, so I can't Scald freely. So roaring it on the switching is my best answer to it, because it will hopefully take 25% with rocks and then be roared straight out without any lefties recovery or anything, so that will be really good. And then I've just got Resto Chesto. I wasn't sure if that was the best item because it could well be knocked off by a Mega Scizor, so maybe just getting some immediate recovery with leftovers before they're knocked off, or maybe getting some Rocky Helmet damage would be more useful. But I have gone with Chesto because if I don't feel the need to be switching in on Mega Scizor, if it's not an offensive set and I think I can take the hits a bit better, then that's fine. And I'll hopefully keep my Chesto and be able to rest that off. So these four were the four that I was sure I was bringing. And then I had to consider about my other two Pokemon, and there were a couple of ways that I wanted to go with this. I had considered Electros for a bit because it's got really nice coverage to deal with some of the walls. So it's got electric hits for Volcanion, it's got fire hits for Mega Scizor, it's got grass hits for Rhyperior, and it also has stuff like Toxic or Knockoff to be able to cripple the Porygon 2, even Superpower, or I could run HP Ice if I wanted something for Salamence. So it's got really nice coverage, but the issue I was having was it's really slow, so it's going to have to take hits unless I run a weird Scarf variant, in which case it's not Wallbreaking as well. So it's quite slow, and it's really not bulky enough for the job I want it to do this week. Like, it takes almost all its health from a modest Steam Eruption. So that's really not ideal. It could probably, if I ran speed, it would be able to outspeed Rhyperior and Scizor and maybe Volcanion if it's bulky without much speed investment. If I did like really speed invest in it. And I could probably try and keep it healthy as well, but I just felt like other things could probably do a job better than it. I considered Mew to do a similar coverage but be faster and bulkier, but its typing wasn't ideal either. And then I considered Dragonite to be a special Dragonite with a similar moveset like Surf for Rhyperior and then Thunderbolt and Fire Blast or Flamethrower and some other stuff. And that was really cool, and I really like that Dragonite idea. But I didn't end up going for it because I felt like I still wanted a bit more contingency for his fast offense, because he's got a lot of things that are very fast. And so what I ended up going with was actually, I'll skip over that one for now. We'll go to Dragonite. It's a banded Dragonite with extreme speed. I thought this would be more useful. It breaks walls very well, with Outrage being able to 2-hit KO a max defense of Porygon 2, which is insane because Porygon 2 is the stupidest, bulkiest thing. It like eats high jump kicks from banded, reckless Mienshals. It's just stupid. But being able to 2-hit KO that with Outrage would be fantastic. I do need coverage on here. I need Fire Punch because Scizor could well be a switching on an Outrage, and also Whimsicott. And then I need Aqua Tail because Rhyperior could also be a switching if it's defensive. And that would be able to almost Oko it. Well, no, it would be able to Oko it, kind of. Unless it's max defense, maybe not. But I do need to watch out for berries with Rhyperior because it could have a Grass or a Water Berry. I would have thought Water Berry would be more likely as well, so I need to be careful about that. But then extreme speed is there, which is kind of the more important part because it means that I will be able to get damage on a Spooky Salamence if it's set up. I will be able to get damage. I will be able to kind of kill Whimsicott before it can do anything tricksy with its Prankster. I can out-prioritize Sucker Punch from a Zoroark. I can kill an unburdened Hawlucha. It does a lot of damage to a lot of the fast things on this team, so that's really important, and it made me feel just a little bit safer about those issues. So this thing is a wall breaker, but it's also able to maybe clean up at the end or just stop some of the scary offense that he has. So it does quite a good job there. Speed creeping, uninvested base 100s if he's going to try and speed creep my Mew, and also Volcanion if it's modest, I think. I think I'll speed that. I would have thought so, yeah, but not timid. If it's timid with HP Ice, that's a bit of a shame. But it's alright, I'll deal with it. So yeah, that's the Dragonite, and then so because I was thinking about the Dragonite as a wall breaker, and it would have been more of a switch in on a Volcanion if it didn't have to deal with burns and it could run a bit more bulk because it's not having to outspeed some of the faster stuff. So that would have been my Volcanion switcher, but now I don't actually really have a great one, so I went with a specially defensive Mew to fill that role a bit better. This thing has Toxic for the Volcanion, so I can hopefully whistle it down that way. It also helps with Porygon 2. The only issue is I need to be aware. Porygon 2 will trace my Synchronize, so Toxicking a Synchronized Porygon 2 is not great. If it's download, that's fine, and I'll go into that in a sec, actually. Yeah, but does it get download? It does get download, yes, I am right. Toxic, don't want to Toxic myself with a Synchronized Porygon 2. But I've got Taunt to shut down its Recover, and I will be able to beat it that way. And then Psychic's there for hitting stuff like Hawlucha, I guess, but it just hits generally everything apart from the Zoroark, which is sort of a problem, but I'm hoping it's not going to come. That's my way of dealing with Zoroark. No, I have ways to deal with Zoroark, I just might lose my Mew on the way, which would be sad. But yeah, it's more to deal with Volcanion and help with Porygon 2. Volcanion isn't too much of a problem, I just don't have switch-ins, and I don't like when I don't have switch-ins, so this thing's more of a switch-in. And yeah, again, I speed creep to the same level as Dragonite to outspeed modest Volcanions, and anything that might want to try and speed creep my Mew, I have a little bit of speed for that. I might change this thing up again one more time, just because I don't know if I want Taunt or Will-O-Wisp. If he works out that I don't really have anything for Mega Scizor, then he might start switching that in, and it could be beneficial to have Will-O-Wisp over Taunt, because if Porygon 2 is Toxic, and it doesn't have any, what's the word, passive recovery, then it's going to die quicker than my Mew. So I don't need Taunt, but it definitely helps because it just means that I'm a complete stocked P2. Whereas if I have Will-O-Wisp, I very much harder to switch into, but I'm not sure if it's as good at the job that I want it to do. So that's the team. Just a quick mention, Crobat here. The EVs, you may notice I have 4 left over. That's because I want to have an odd number of HP. I've got max attack already. Don't need any more speed. I've put 4 into special defense already. I'm not going to put 4 into defense, because if my special defense is higher than my defense, it means that when Porygon 2 might want to switch in on this, and if it is download, it will get an attack boost rather than a special attack boost. So that might come into play, just something that I considered. Yeah, so that's the team this week. I think I'm feeling a bit more confident than last week, maybe just because I don't have to go against a Mega Lopunny, which is one of my least favourite things to face. That and Manaphy, those two are the things I just hate facing in League format. So anyway, yeah, that's a team. I think the plan is to break some walls with this, maybe this, take hits with these 3 and status things, and basically cripple to the point where this can sweep with Brave Bird, or this can clean up with Extreme Speed. That is the plan. I hope you guys are on board, and yeah, look forward to that battle. All that's left to be said is I've been Fufu, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.